All right, guys. This is the video explanation, the lesson to understand how to do multi-step right triangles. Please make sure you're following these 2 steps, and I'm going to kind of break it down for you for each problem and kind of go through together. Um, I'm sorry I'm out in the post on Teams. It does explain that I'm not in class today due to being chosen for jury duty. Um, I am honored to be able to do my civic service, and the judge says that the trial might be 3 days or it could go to for a whole week. So it just all depends on how the case is going. But I will be, as you're watching this, I'll be in the jury box, taking notes and doing my part to figure out the course of the trial. So while I'm gone, it's very important that we don't fall behind. We're pretty much on track. We just have one more skill to kind of address before your test on this part of the unit, which is besides multi-step, which is we're going to kind of get into trig, which is on the second part of your checkoff list. So you should be following this checkoff list that's going to be attached. It was given to you by the sub and it's attached in the team's assignment. You're going to be doing finishing multi-step, and then we'll get into trig down here on Wednesday and Thursday. So let's just talk about this multi-step first. There's really just 2 steps. So let's first start with the triangle you have a side measure for and find its missing side. So if I look at between the 2 triangles, I should be starting with this triangle on the left because I have the side that has the 6 right here. So I'm going to do this triangle first, and I'm just going to kind of redraw that triangle. We have 6, we have a 30 degrees, we have an X, and we have a K. And hopefully you recognize, let me just fix this real quick. You recognize because this 6 is across from the 30, in this triangle, this is the short leg, X is your hypotenuse, and K is your long leg. So we want to find those missing sides. And if you remember your 30, 60, 90 triangle rule, I think it was with the blue foldable that we did last week before spring break. To get your hypotenuse, you just double the short leg. The rule for hypotenuse is 2x or 2 times the short leg. So if I double that, my x, my hypotenuse, is just going to be 12. And to get the long leg, the rule is take whatever your short leg is, multiply it by root 3. So that means my k down here is just 6 root 3. Okay, so I can just go down here, and my hypotenuse was 12, my k was 6 root 3. Then step 2 here says, let me get my little highlighter to address this. Use a shared side to find the missing sides in the adjacent. So the shared side is here. This is our shared side. It is, I'm just going to make a little note. That's the shared side. Sorry about the writing. Shared side. And so if I look into this triangle second, I'm just going to redraw this adjacent triangle. And I think it'll let me move it to the side. Yep, there it is. All right, so in this triangle, we have a 45 degrees. And in that 45, 45, 90, or right isosceles, the legs are the same. So that means this would also be 6. And then your hypotenuse is always whatever your leg is times root 2. So to get to my hypotenuse, I take my leg, I multiply by root 2. So right off the bat, I know M is 6 because that's the legs. To get my Y, it's going to be 6 root 2. Okay. So notice how I kind of redrew these triangles. I separate them to kind of help with the problem solving. But you always start with the given side, find all the sides in that triangle, and then use your shared side to find the remaining and missing sides in the adjacent. So that's what we're going to practice down here. So if I look at this on number 1, okay, the given side is right here, this 9 root 6. So I'm going to start off with this triangle first. Okay. So I'm just going to redraw that here. It doesn't have to be a scale. but hopefully you see the key information. We have a 45. So this 9 root 6 is the hypotenuse. So I'm trying to get to the leg. So anytime I have the hypotenuse, I'm gonna fix my font. This is the hypotenuse. I'm going from big to small, the leg. Whenever you do that, you divide. Writing is bad. So you take the hypotenuse amount, which is the 9 root 6, and you're going to divide it by root 2. Okay? And here I can do the division because the 2 and the 6 are both underneath the radical, and 2 can go into 6, so this was simplified to 9 root 3. So that means each of these legs here are 9 root 3. And now I can see my shared side, which is here. And if I look at that adjacent triangle, which is this one, and I'm just going to move it to the side here, rotate it a little bit. And that shared side, the 9 root 3 is the hypotenuse in this triangle, and it's also a 45. So I'm doing exactly what I did before. I'm going from the hypotenuse, and I'm trying to find the leg. And so to do that, I had to take the 9 root 3. Actually, I'm going to write it underneath here. I took the 9 root 3, and I divided by root 2. Now, this 2 cannot go into the 3. So this is when we have to rationalize it by multiplying by root 2, which is the top and the bottom. All right, and so we go straight across. The 3 and the 2 are the radicands, so they can be multiplied. The 9 stays outside, so this is 9 root 6 over 2. And that is our final answer, okay? Unless you want to divide the 9 divided by 2 and change that to 4.5, but you have to have that radical 6, okay? So that's the OR. So start with the given side, find all the remaining sides in that triangle, then use your shared side to get to the adjacent triangle. So on number 2 here, the given side is this 32 here, right here, okay? And if I look in that triangle, that 32 represents the leg, okay? So the x, what I'm trying to find, is the hypotenuse. So you can redraw it if you need to, okay? It doesn't have to be to scale, but in this 45, 45, 90 triangle, the legs are 32, sorry, and the hypotenuse is just the leg root 2. So this would be 32 root 2. Okay, that's our x. All right. Now, the shared side is here. It's the leg in, it's this leg here in the right isosceles. But now when I go to the adjacent, to the triangle next to right here, that actually represents, I'm going to draw it not to scale, but that part that we know is 32 is the hypotenuse. Okay, and we have a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So this is the hypotenuse, this is the short leg, this is the long leg. And what we have to remember, we always want to get back to the short leg in this type of triangle. This is what we call like home base, because if I have the short leg, you can find everything else. So if I go from hypotenuse to short leg, I'm just taking half. So that lets me know half of 32 is going to be the 16. So my z 16 here. And then to get my long leg, I'm just taking the short leg, and because your long leg is just your short leg times root 3. So that means 16 root 3. That's my y. Okay. So you want to start with the given, find the remaining, then move to your shared, and then move off from that one. Okay. So like in this one, number 3, the given is over here. It's not on the left side anymore. It's now on the right side. So this is the triangle we're doing first. And if I look in that triangle, I have 45. So that means the legs are here. And this is the hypotenuse. That hypotenuse is 15 root 2. Well, to go from the leg, the hypotenuse to the leg, we're just taking that 15 root 2 divided by root 2, sorry. And these will cancel. So some people just say, oh, that's 15. Whatever number is in front of the radical is my leg. So I know this is 15, that's these 15. And then the shared side right here would also be 15. So now I'm going to do this triangle second. Sorry about my font here. So if I'm looking in this triangle, oops. Okay, so I just kind of redraw it. This 15 is actually the long leg. We need to get back to the short leg. That's our Y. So to do that, to go from long leg to short leg, big to small, either way, you always divide. If I'm going from a bigger part to a smaller part. What it's happening is I'm taking this long leg and divide it by root 3. And I can't leave it like that. I have to rationalize it. Can't keep a radical on the bottom. So you have 15 root 3 over 3, which now I can reduce. The 3 can go into 15 5 times. So I get 5 root 3. 5 root 3 is the short leg, which is your Y. And then to get to my hypotenuse, I double that, which means this becomes 10 root 3. Okay. So try number 4. I'm just going to pause this video, let you pause and try and see if you get to the right answer. All right, so you should be starting with the 6, which is actually the long leg in the 30, 60, 90, because it's across the 60 degrees right there. So you have to divide by root 3. So I'm trying to show you that your short leg turns into 2 root 3, which is here. And then I can get my hypotenuse, which is doubling that, getting 4 root 3. And that's the share side. So I did this, used the 6 first. And then I went to the second triangle, the adjacent triangle. The 4 root 3 in this triangle is the legs. Okay, these two legs are the same. And then to get to the hypotenuse, which is here, I have to take whatever the leg is and multiply by root 3. Oops, I take that back. That's not right. Multiply by root 6. I apologize that. By root 2, which turns into 4 root 6. Sorry. Sorry about that. And so just check here. And after you finish this, you have an example, some problems to work on in IXL. And let me go back to this. So it's the scale MEJ. Oops, that's not what I need. Sorry.